This is Bitcoin Noster, the symbiosis. Thank you. What connects us? I think if we've been in Noster long enough, it's the messages. It's what we send to each other. If we've been in Bitcoin, we realize that it goes beyond that. We send a message not just by our words, but also by what we buy and what we choose to support or use. And what is it that we value about that? I think in many ways it's human connection. Something like hugs, even across the miles. We also enjoy living and we embrace its many imperfections, like not having an edit button and coming up with, funny typos that lead to even funnier memes. There's something about Nostr culture and Bitcoin culture that merge. And I think in many ways its foundation is on biddling and huddling and embracing those typos. But also it's about things that are brewing like saps and that change how everything works. Now, some people have an aspect of understanding this culture as something that's kind of off or weird or something to be angry about, because sometimes Bitcoin culture, it's its own niche. But it's early days, and whatever it is that we do carries its own culture. I think what we need to look beyond is that it also is not an empty culture. It carries its own principles, and that's where the symbiosis happens. Now, if you're outside of this circle, you will know the answer to this, but many people are surprised to know that Fiat Jeff is not Noster's CEO. They may also be surprised that Satoshi Nakamoto is not Bitcoin's CEO. They did something very selfless and beautiful, which is they removed the crowns off of their own heads and gave it back to us in the shape of keys. And we'll be forever grateful for that. It allows for a freedom unlike any we have known. We have NSEX and seed phrases, and sometimes they're complicated things to understand. But once you do, you realize you're truly empowered. Now, we live in a world culture that's a little different than we might expect. Sometimes it's focused on what's easiest and what holds less responsibility. We're dependent upon third parties and companies that control what we do in their own arbitrary rules. And in a way, they're eroding many of our freedoms without us or without many even realizing it's happening. Our data is sold widely. There's a lot of cancel culture. Many algorithms are forced upon people, favoring a majority point of view when we're truly diverse. There cannot just be one point of view. It'd be unnatural. There's endless money printing and inflation. There is no choice. And this leads to, or has led many times to censorship, shadow banning. And worst of all, I think we tend to self-censor because we're afraid our account may be canceled or somebody may react to something that we said. And we forget how important perspectives are. Can we change that culture? Well, culture just happens. But if it just happens, what matters within all of this? It's about building the tools to protect the individual. And when people are ready, when they go through something that's difficult in their lives, we need to be ready too. So Bitcoin Noster needs to be ready and it's scalable. The positive symbiosis that happens with Bitcoin and Noster is about sharing the same principles, or similar anyway, like simplicity or decentralization, because it matters. Openness matters. transparency matters, privacy matters, and efforts are getting built onto that. Developers make a difference, and I think that's one of the biggest strengths of this community, that people are building stronger products. SAP changed how we support content, so we can finally kind of have a say in what it is that we love and build audiences around that. Creators are freed, and I've been pleasantly surprised, or no, actually not surprised, pleasantly arrived at a space where I know that music artists and more creative people are coming in. So I would like to give a shout out to all of those in the music community on Wavelakes, Dempster, like Man Like Quakes, like Ralph, Jack, all those people. And then as far as artists go, there's some amazing artists out there, like Bit Pop Art, No Good. Who else are we? Even Mr. E should be out there too. I think we're all becoming creators thanks to the tools that we have, and that is giving us freedom. And when we all can connect without those walls, the network effects grow. And it's amazing to be able to connect on any product that you use as far as Nostr goes, and be able to reach out to anyone no matter which product they're using. And I don't think we quite realize how important that is, but we will over time. I think that the main thing I'd love to leave you with is that we should not ever become what we're building against. We need to protect the open interoperable protocols and seek not to control, but instead to give choice. I think Noster is still a baby. And by giving it back choice and giving education, what will Noster be as the baby grows up? I think that will depend entirely on us. So I'm kind of hopeful for the future. And thank you so much for your time.